Hi, welcome to Parents Gap Year, the podcast that celebrates
living to travel and travelling to live.
I'm Anne-Marie McCormack, filmmaker and radio presenter.
And I'm Rod Gray, videographer and photographer.
We're married.
To each other.
And as our children are young adults who've almost fled the nest, this year we're travelling around the world ourselves.
Lots of people say they'd like to do this, so we're having a go at showing you how it can be done, with some top tips along the way.
So this is our warts and all travel experience where we reveal our highs and lows, what we learn about each other.
And more importantly, the great characters that we meet along the way.
And I think it's famous for its series of vagina plaster casts.
Mr. Brenton.
Yeah.
So you're not a bus driver really, are you?
No, I'm a professional bullshit artist.
But you have to be careful with berries, don't you? You obviously know what you're eating.
Yeah.
And that we're not all going to die.
You need to be 110% sure before you put it in your mouth.
Yeah, so
what you're
I'm
eating.
trusting you, Tash. Mm-hmm. We're now in Melbourne, Australia, en route to Tasmania.
With family and a bunch of fun foodie friends.
We're here in Melbourne.
Amazing vehicle.
Yeah. Were they friendly on the bus? They had this friendly.
Oh yeah, no, the bus was fine. So after a few days of sheer exhaustion, I couldn't even string a sentence together. And now we're back on track, aren't we?
Yeah, we're awake again. A bit of time zone change into Australia. A beautiful day yesterday. Down on the Yarra River, having a few drinks, sitting in the sun. Unusual rainy day today, so we're having lunch.
With Vicky, our latest lady, this trip has been full of ladies or girls.
Special ladies.
Special ladies. You being
A relation.
A relation.
Yep. Stepsister to me, but I've known you for most of my life, I think.
Yeah. I think we went to the Christchurch Primary School, didn't we?
We did know each other at primary school, yeah.
And now planning an adventure together to Bruny Island, Tasmania. 5 days, isn't it?
We'll be there for 5 days, yeah.
We fly over Hobart, a night in Hobart, and then go to Mona, the gallery. I think it's run by a gambler. I think he made his money, the owner, by gambling. I think there's quite a story which makes the whole place intriguing. It's a gallery sunk into the ground, right on the water. So you enter in, and then you sort of the gallery spirals down into the underground.
And you have to get a ferry to it?
And I think it's famous for its series of vagina plaster casts.
I did not expect
So, you know, it's very interesting to look at, actually. I've been there once before, and I spent a long time looking at everyone because
They're all
you
different?
don't get to see that bit.
As you do.
Now I've heated up the conversation.
Gambling and vaginas, I love it. What more can we want?
All the name of art.
There's a big gang coming on this trip, so they're all friends of yours that we haven't met. So we're being dumped right in it in the nicest possible way. Go on, tell us.
They are
Who are they?
lovely, lovely people. So there's Tash and Tim, whose land it is in Bruny. Nikki and Adam, and there's Lisa and Brenton, and then there's some other friends of theirs. So Tim bought the land on South Bruny Island, I think 20, 30 years ago. There's just a big shed there, 3-ring gas burner to cook on, the fire pit on the land, and a solar powered fridge. And some what we call eskies, rainwater tank, not a shower, but we're not camping there.
The three of us are in the B&B.
A lovely little bungalow 20 minutes away. There'll be 2 chefs coming. They're into regenerative farming.
Right.
There'll be a shit stirrer who's called Brenton, who likes to wind up the chef about veganism and why we should still eat meat. That gives more of a... There's an avid surfer, which is Tim. and I think you'll love them. I hope you will, because we're all going to be...
We've all got 5 days together.
Yeah. So that'll be interesting.
Okay, so we are on yet another boat. It seems to be the theme.
I couldn't resist that.
We got Amory used to boats now, thankfully. We're presently in Tasmania, in Hobart, capital, and just leaving the port. We travelled down here yesterday with Sister Vicky and a bunch of her friends, and we're going.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard the MR1 trip to
Mona, Tasmania. You'll find it.
Yeah, makes it sound like Mona Lisa.
Mona Lisa, yeah, but it's Museum of Old and New Art. Mona, there you go. So we're on the ferry, here we go, and it's 20 minutes up through the harbour, and the museum apparently is underground, a lot of it, and it's actually very dramatic and fun. Well, we're in inside the gallery right here at Mona. The first exhibit is, well, I can't actually say what it is. It's C-word and other conversations. And I'm looking at a wall of vaginas. 76 of them. In all their glories.
Yeah, they're white though.
They are white porcelain.
Yeah.
Against a red background.
And interestingly, it's the first thing we came across. We weren't even looking. Well, we kind of were.
What's a collective noun for vaginas?
Vagina.
Answers on a postcard from the listener. Not sure what to say.
Exactly. Let's just.
I think that's the idea. We're going to go into something called the confessional, which is a weird spiral room, which then transmits whatever you say outside into a big metal kind of loud hailer gramophone type thing.
So no one downstairs can hear what you're saying?
Outside they can, so...
What are you going to confess?
I couldn't tell you. I can only tell the rest of the world.
Exactly.
Okay, we're heading into the spiral. It was dark. Bit of lighting. So it's like a snail's sort of thing. I'm holding onto the side of the wall.
You have to put your hand out.
So it's like a dead space already, isn't it? It's like one of those radio dead spaces. Keep whirling. Come on, just hold on to me. It's fine. We're keeping going. We're going round and round and round and round in a tighter spiral till we're going to get to the middle. It's dark as well. I think we've got to the middle. Okay, here's a little space in the middle. Oh yeah, echoey. Oh, here's the. They did say it's low height. That is dangerous. So we're in this space. It's good for audio, so it's all sort of slightly echo. Hello out there.
Who are you?
Who are you?
You'll never know.
You never know.
So I've got something to confess. If you're listening.
Here comes you go.
My confession is that I'm not really a comedian.
Okay.
But I've got a crap joke.
Right.
So picture the scene. Okay, we're in a circus big top. And then 2 cannibals have broken in to the circus big top. And they've eaten the clowns.
Oh.
No clown.
So one turns to the other and goes, "Did that taste funny?"
Oh, that is horrible. My confession is, Rod, I'm divorcing you.
Just one bad joke?
Yeah.
Is that all it takes?
No, it's a lifetime, 25 years of bad jokes.
Have we built up to this moment?
It's over. Can you hear me up there? They've gone. Your bad joke just drove them.
That drove them away, didn't it? So you want me to talk about stuff?
Talk about the gallery. Yeah, tell us about it.
Okay. Very mixed medium. Lots of different things, from fine art to sculpture to soundscapes to video stuff to frankly rude and disgusting things as well. Overall, fantastic.
Yeah, so there were things that were really unpalatable, I would say, for me personally, but most of it was awesome.
You needed a few hours to get around it. There was a lot to it.
Yeah, it's definitely worth a visit.
Oh, this is
Going on the ferry
This
And
is
that way.
exciting. Right over there.
with the hire car.
Yeah. Glad got that extra insurance now, Rod.
Yeah, I'm really pleased.
I've shut the window, so I'm going to get hot.
So actually I'm doing really, really well on this trip with female company. But Rod, he is being deconstructed at the moment because he's so used to going away with me and our 2 sons where it becomes very laddish in its... Ooh.
Harsh.
And then I used to bring my sister as reinforcements for the female contingent. And now, Vicky, you are my backup. And then I had the ladies, and then I had the girls.
I think
So-
I've weathered it well.
I think you have. Now we're going
You look
to
a bit
the
weathered.
island. We're going to the island with a mix of male and female around the campfire.
Oh, we're off. Are we
And we're off.
already? Are we
This is
leaving?
great. We just don't have to
I'm
get
getting
out.
out. Sorry.
Are you?
I'm screwing the lid on my water bottle.
Thank
and
you, Vicky.
I'm getting out here.
So welcome to our humble abode. So Vicky's friends have arrived who are doing the camping. Nikki?
Lisa,
Brenton.
Brenton, and Adam.
Yeah, Adam. Hello. Welcome to our house that
This
we're
is so
renting.
cool.
It is really cool. Do you want to go in and have a nose around? Tell us about your Brenton tours.
Brenton Tours is an unscheduled tour where we're just going to randomly go where we want to go, play some music in the van and have a bit of fun.
Good.
There was no time factor getting here today.
No, I know. We're packed for about 3
Yeah,
hours.
I actually did see Vicky send a message at 6 a.m. to our shock.
She did not.
Yeah,
did
6
she?
a.m. But we thought you guys just wanted to chill for a few hours.
Ah, yeah, we did. No, we are
So
just
we-
winding. I did say I'd wind you back up.
We haven't
from
wound me up
yesterday.
yet.
What did you do to me yesterday?
Nothing.
You did.
Haven't done anything to you, Anne-Marie.
It was dark and I was scared of spiders. And what did you do?
Threw a leaf at you.
Thank you. And made me think it was a spider. So
That was nothing really to worry about. What have you guys been doing this morning?
chilling.
All right.
Thank you very much. We had plenty of time to chill.
It's a beautiful spot, isn't it?
It's
a great
gorgeous.
spot. What exercise has Rod been doing?
Walk with Vicky.
Yeah, oysters everywhere. Just in the water. You just
Right,
go.
did you pick any?
No, I don't like oysters.
Do you know
don't
how
you?
to pick them?
Yeah, just really sharp knife, shuckle knife.
Okay.
Give them a flick.
So you like
And we're going to
oysters.
smoke them later.
Are you? Are
Yeah.
you going to go down and pick some?
How are you ever going to roll those up and light them?
What's that? No, you just take them out and then just put them over. We've got the little cooker back at the campsite. I think Tim's going to do some smoked oysters, so
Oh, right.
so we'll do that
can't
next few
stand them,
days.
so
Oh, you don't like them either?
I absolutely
Open your
hate them.
mouth and just let
No,
it
they're
slide down.
disgusting. Yeah, well, what's the
They're
point
scallops.
if you don't like
Yeah.
the taste? I mean, I
scallops
might
out
like the
there, they're
smoked, but I don't like it. Tastes of seawater to me,
Well,
so I just can't.
it's good for your
bear it.
LB day.
I know, that's why I don't want it. 25 years of marriage, come on.
Of course, you need half a dozen then. Maybe a dozen. Just go get a dozen down there for you.
Maybe we should take some, Rod. I don't know.
Just slip them
All
down.
yours.
Well, you got to give it a try.
Do you know, you might
On this
convince
podcast,
me.
we're saying, Anne-Marie, give an oyster a try. And then see what happens.
And then Rod will be thinking he's on a promise then.
Yeah, we know the feeling when our women get menopausal, so you know.
What? You don't know this woman.
Oh, you know.
Yeah, do you want to come and have a look at the house? You may as well.
bus is leaving.
We believe you. Right, the rest of them are having a look at the house. We're renting and the rest of them are camping. How was your night's sleep last night?
I had a great night's sleep.
Did you?
Yeah.
God, I did as well. It's the
Yeah.
best night's sleep I've had in ages, I have to say, because it was quiet here. Yeah, what do you think?
It's very cute. I love the
Show
way
you
it's
where.
decorated and
Yeah.
very homely and cozy.
So who's cooking tonight?
I think Adam's and Brenton.
Ooh.
Anne-Marie hasn't had an oyster in Australia. She's
Like
a menopausal woman who
seawater.
needs half a dozen oysters, and Rod will be happy for that.
Rod will think
I
he's on a
think
promise.
that is a male scam. Aphrodisiac.
Or
My-
it's called
my
wishful thinking.
Wishful thinking, exactly.
Yeah.
And the bus is leaving, Anne-Marie.
We got bus leaving. I'll believe you
Grab
when
your-
I see you
grab your gear.
leaving.
Grab your gear.
I have the gear.
I'm Tash, and I live in Melbourne on the Mornington Peninsula.
Well, what are we walking through?
I think we could call it an open woodland. It's like Australian bush. It's right on the coast. We're on Bruny Island in Tasmania, and we're at this place called Lagoons. And we've just had lunch on the beach, gathered some mussels. Oh, I forgot my bucket.
Someone else will get your bucket.
They might have already
sure.
gone, yeah.
Yeah.
And we're going to come across some bush food up here. A lot of the local Indigenous mob who would have lived here would have thought that this would be an absolute seafood supermarket. It's a beautiful place to sit down and eat and forage, because you'd have fish, you'd have shellfish, you'd have bush foods in the shrubs and in the ground. It's an incredible culture that has been thousands of generations. I think a lot of that knowledge is now being rediscovered. They had a oral tradition of passing on knowledge. And I'm not Aboriginal myself. I work for the Royal Botanic Gardens, Melbourne. So I have a lot of plant knowledge.
So Ruth and Sammy and Tash, you're all picking these berries, the red ones.
The coprosma, the prickly currants. We're harvesting a bunch of them for a garnish on the dessert for tonight. Rice pudding.
Oh, for tonight.
Make
cool.
rice pudding. And they taste like raspberries to me.
Yeah, they do.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, such a nice colour.
But you have to be careful with berries, don't you? You obviously know what you're eating.
Yeah.
And that we're not all going to die.
No, you need to be 110% sure before you put it in your mouth.
Yeah,
what
so
you're
I'm
eating.
trusting you, Tash. If it tastes good, does it
Mean it?
necessarily mean that it is good?
Probably not.
Like if it's poisonous, would it taste really foul?
Well, often it's bitter, isn't it? I think.
Yeah.
The
Food
bush
that's-
is spicy.
Mushrooms taste good.
Yeah, but I wonder if poisonous ones do.
Yeah, well, I haven't tried a poisonous one, so I don't know about that.
Yeah, they do say that every mushroom is edible once.
Yeah.
But only once.
Oh, look at this. So do you
They're like
teach
mini
this kind of
cherries.
stuff in the
Botanic Gardens,
We were
yeah.
there the other day, actually.
In Melbourne.
Yeah.
Or at Cranbourne.
Melbourne.
Yep.
It's really
So the
beautiful.
Melbourne one's in the city, and Cranbourne is actually also known as the Australian Garden, and that's based out at Cranbourne, which is about an hour from the city, an hour and a bit, and that's all native plants from all around Australia.
Oh, it's so beautiful there.
Yeah,
really
You got to go. You gotta go.
Okay.
it's it's a contemporary garden too. It's based on a contemporary design, and they're also sort of showcasing how Australian plants could be used in a contemporary manner and contemporary landscape design. But yeah, there's also natural areas that you can walk out into the bush, and into the local bushland there, and yeah, check out how the variety and diversity of Australian plants is just incredible.
So you come to Bruny every weekend?
No. We live in Melbourne, and so we might come here twice, maybe 3 times a year if we can. Definitely once a year. And yeah, stay on our bush block, and we glamp. So we have a shed which has a driftwood kitchen and a dining table and chairs and things. But we set up a tent. We camp on the land, and
This is the first time you've had all of your friends descend upon you. How many have you?
we're 12 at the moment, aren't we? So nine at the camp and 3 in the Airbnb. So we make 12 altogether, I think. Because last night we were 12 for dinner. But it's great. It's so nice to share, because normally Tim and I are here by ourselves, and it's just very quiet and it's very relaxing and peaceful. I mean, it's still relaxing and peaceful with all these people here, but it's different, and we can show all our favourite places, and we have to go. We have to keep
the
walking.
Bruny tour.
Brenton's Bruny bus tour continues.
He is giving us the call. In other words, get your asses up here
On the bus.
On the bus
We're going to Jetty Beach, I think,
for a swim.
for a bit of a walk and a swim, I hope.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
And here's the engine starting up, so he's determined to get us in the bus. What is that?
That's a little beepy thing, so you can hear me clearly.
I can hear you.
Hear me clearly now.
I can hear you. So I know you're trying to gather your troops and we're all taking a bit too long. We were very picky.
I noticed that.
for your dinner?
Hence the big yell out, the bus is leaving.
Yeah, I did get the yell.
Yeah.
So I'm in trouble.
Never in trouble.
Do I get down the back of the bus?
Go down the back.
Naughty,
Yeah, down the back.
One of the naughty people.
Down the back and interview people. Yeah, I've got to keep moving. Get out of the front, down the back. Hurry up.
Yeah, I'm misbehaving. Who are we waiting for?
Just Anne-Marie.
Those two.
Oh.
Honk your horn. Honk your horn.
They come with us too.
Be a bit more assertive, Mr. Busman.
Hurry up, you two. Here they come. We're waiting for the surfing boys.
Who's sitting up the front? Is it me?
You can.
Oh, excited.
There's some food preparation going on in this gorgeous little cottage with Vicky. What's the name of the cottage?
It's called Weiler, and I think that's the local language word for cockatoo.
Ah.
We're going down to the lighthouse, and I'm making a coleslaw for the trip. I wondered about how the raw oysters would go last night.
Right.
What the effect might be in the morning.
I know. Brenton is looking for an update. But what happens in Weiler Cottage?
Toilet. Stays in Weiler Cottage toilet.
I'm not talking about the toilet. He was more talking about the libido element.
Sorry, single woman here. Not sharing a room currently with a man, I guess, or a woman. I don't know.
You don't know about
what goes on in your bedroom is your business, isn't it?
Exactly.
I didn't hear anything. And I slept soundly, so.
That's all I can say.
All I can say is nothing really happened with the oysters, in other words.
So before you chop again, we were having this really interesting conversation just now about how time flies. Both our kids are the same age. You've had Jude 25 years ago. Sam is nearly 25. There is a stage where we're all going, ooh, time is going by very fast, and we were talking about the speed of time. And one thing I've really noticed since travelling, everything has slowed down, which is a really good thing. But you were saying with work and everything, those 25 years have gone by very quickly.
Yeah, I don't want the time to go as quickly. I want to have lots of joyful experiences and be in the moment more. And I just don't want to be sitting on a couch watching Netflix every night. And the months fly by and it's another Christmas. And I'm aware of how precious time is that we have. And time with other people, with family, with friends.
So we have met all of your friends, and we're having every evening, we're sharing meals down at the camp being cooked by the fire. What happened last night was amazing because every single person got involved in the cooking in one way or another. I was spud control, being the Irish person.
How many potatoes did you scrap?
15 or 16 potatoes.
I thought it was 50.
And Brenton kept going, are they nearly ready yet? Because he was dying to get them in the fire. And he did it Maori style, under all the coals. And we had baked potatoes, and then other stuff was put on top on the griddle. What did you pick?
I wild harvest some samphire from the rocky edge of the beach near there. It's a very sort of like a beaded and like a succulent and vivid green. And I'd just been reading about it in the book in the morning, and so I picked it, we washed it, got all the grit out and blanched it, and then stirred it with olive oil and lemon juice and raw garlic actually, and it was a salty hit.
It was amazing
to have alongside the other incredible food.
Coleslaw and fresh oysters picked literally 2 hours before from the other local beach. So actually Rod and I tried the Tasmanian oyster, and they were much nicer than any oysters I've ever tasted before because they're not so salty here. And we went for a massive swim yesterday. The seawater wasn't as salty as seawater elsewhere. So if you're coming to Bruny Island, there are certain sites that are probably essential to see. There's lots of beaches around, different types of beaches, but we're off to a lighthouse today, the lighthouse. And then where else would you recommend?
Cloudy Bay. It's beautiful, mind you, with the rain pouring down. we shall see.
Yeah, so this is the first time we've experienced quite inclement weather, you could say. The weather has been quite cool, especially around the campfire, and we've been indoors some of the time in order to avoid the rain. And luckily we are coming back to the cottage with electric blankets and
hot water
bottle. So we're actually really being spoilt. But en route back from the campsite, which is about 20 minutes drive, we have seen the most amazing wildlife. Possums, kangaroos, wallabies, quolls.
We saw spotted quolls. I've lived in Australia for 27 years. I've never seen a live quoll. Amazing. Pademelons and something else. A dead one on the road. That was so sad.
That was an albino wallaby?
Possibly.
Yeah.
It was hard. In the headlights it looked white, but...
Was it white, Rod?
Not entirely.
Okay, Rod had to drag it off the road.
We were looking at its belly when we first saw it on the
Oh,
road.
I see.
It was fairly brown on its back.
Rod pulled it by the tail off the road because we couldn't bear the thought of cars just going over it and mushing it. And also, it means that the birds that are the meat-eating, the carrion, I think, is it? They can safely land at the side of the road and they can make use of that meat.
And also is a bit of a liability for drivers who might not have been driving as carefully as you, Vicky.
I was so careful.
Yeah, the wildlife is the most notable thing here. So if you want somewhere that looks kind of like Cornwall, kind of like parts of Ireland, then Bruny Island is your thing, with the weather to go with it.
And it sounds really cool, the word Tasmania, for one thing.
It certainly does. And that's what attracted me to coming.
I looked on the map, and when you find Bruny Island and you go south, there's a little tip of Tasmania still, but then after that you go south, you're in the Southern Ocean, and the next landmass, or it's not even land, is Antarctica. So that's incredible to think we're neighbouring Antarctica.
Brilliant, thank you. I know you're trying to get on with your coleslaw.
I'm itching to chop the coleslaw. Just
off you go then.
Thank you. Nice to chat.
You're making dinner.
We're on a mission.
Scrubbing mussels.
Cleaning the beds. It's taken at least an hour so far, hasn't it?
Are you kidding me?
No, we've been here for about an hour.
So you're not a bus driver, really, are you?
No, I'm a professional photographer. Professional bullshit artist.
You are a professional bullshit artist, which we know that. But how long have you worked in your job?
Worked same job for 22 years. And the advantage of that is obviously you get to know what you're doing every day. But the other big advantage is you get long service leave in Australia. So every time you work 7 years, you get 6 weeks. I think it's 6 weeks for every 7 to 10 years. So because I've done 22 years, that means I've got 21 weeks of long service leave, which is fully paid for. So I can take like 2 or 3 months off at one go, or I can just take it when I want to.
Wow. Whereas we are taking a sabbatical and not getting paid.
Yeah, so you get paid for, well, basically working for a company for a long time, is that they introduced that to Australia. Unionised country, so the 3/8, 8 hours of work, 8 hours of rest, 8 hours of sleep.
But is it not to do with people who've been previously colonised? It goes back historically that when they left their country, they would want to go back and see their families.
I'm
back
not sure.
in the homeland.
I'm not sure about that.
Don't know.
Okay, that's what someone said to me.
No,
I haven't heard that, but that makes sense.
So Adam, you're from an Irish background many, many years ago?
Yeah, a bit far back to visit. No, but there was £10 poms in the 50s and 60s.
So you part of that?
And no. Yeah, so they would have wanted to go home.
Yeah, so they got paid leave to go home, as in if they built up service.
But it's also a reward for sticking in the same job for a long time, being loyal.
My mum's part of that. Her name is Barbara Hutton. She was a £10 pom. Came into Sydney 1967, met my dad 1968.
So where did she come from?
She came from Croydon. So Croydon, UK, and she came here on a ship. I think maybe she came, I'm not sure she got here actually, but I think she was on a holiday visa, sort of cheap way of getting to Australia.
And do you have an English passport, or you can get
Right of abode. But you can't get an English passport, or not an English passport, is it? You can't have an English passport, can you?
You can't get citizenship.
No, it's not. It's not. It's a UK passport, isn't it? Not an
If your
English
mum's
passport.
born there, you should be able to.
No, you can only get right of abode.
What does that mean?
Means that you get a stamp in your passport, and I can work and live in the UK as long as I want, and also taxes and all that.
And what about your son?
He was born in the UK in '99, so that's why I lived in England for 8 years. I had a UK passport. So yeah, but the long service is, I think it's fantastic. It means that if you do work for a company for a while, you get something back.
Yeah. I wish we could get that. Wouldn't that be fantastic,
Yeah.
Rod?
Yeah,
I've worked 17 years at the university.
And I've done 13.
Yeah,
We have to take it all as unpaid.
yeah.
We also get holiday loading, 17.5% on top of our. So when you take holidays, you get 17.5% loading.
What does that mean?
It's say you earn $100, then they add another 17.5% on top of that.
Well,
as a bonus, as extra.
While on
While you're
holiday.
on holiday.
Yeah. So when you take 4 weeks holiday,
Yeah.
so wherever your wage is, then they add on 17.5%.
Wow.
That's brilliant.
Never heard of that.
Yeah. So we get that in Australia.
So what you're doing right now, Adam, coming from a chefing background, you foraged for these on the beach yesterday. It's 2 buckets full of mussels. And
Big mussels as well.
Big mussels.
Yeah.
And today we foraged literally beneath where we live on that little bay.
Just on the shore.
And you had your knife and you were basically shelling them. So you're the expert in the
Shucking.
shucking, is that what
It's
it's called?
called shucking.
Shucking. Because you were a chef for how long?
18 years.
And you're not anymore.
No, I've been a builder for 18 years.
Really? But you know how to cook, so that's amazing, isn't it?
It's a bonus, yeah.
It is a bonus. It's a bonus for us as your visitors.
And a good cook-up few
But-
days, isn't it?
For a chef to be able to collect ingredients this fresh and this high quality is sort of the dream, really.
So you don't mind the effort of scrubbing those shells, mussel shells, for an hour.
For your benefit.
For our benefit. Thank you so much. You had your little knife out today and you were feeding people oysters
Shucking
off
knife.
the beach. I mean, how amazing is that? And when we were in Hobart, the oysters were $8 an oyster. So what you
Is that
ate
right?
today on the beach probably was at least $80-100 worth of oysters.
A
Yeah,
few drops
yeah.
of blood.
Yes, how's your finger, by the way?
It's all better.
Added to the flavour.
You're hardcore, you are. So the ladies are in the tin hut doing all sorts of manner of cooking up the curry sauce.
How long
Can't
do they
wait.
take on the fire? Just
A minute,
moments.
2 minutes. This is when they open.
Yeah, they'll
Yeah.
steam themselves open.
Yeah.
Yeah. I normally have them with a garlic and white wine sauce.
Yeah.
And a bit of butter in it.
Anyway, Ruth,
We're nearly there.
you're making the rice pudding for tonight
Yep, rice pudding simmering away.
with cardamom pods. So is there a particular recipe you've got?
No,
Did you say it was an Indian recipe?
an Indian recipe. I used to make it when I was travelling through India. So I've just reached back into the archives of my
I know.
brain.
Is
So
that entirely savoury or is it sweet and savoury?
I see cardamom as a sweet spice. They use it a lot in Indian desserts, a lot. Almost all of them.
So Ruth, we've taken you back to your travelling days because you've got the lovely Sammy, your son, who's kind of halted your adventuring in the nicest possible way. But you've travelled.
lovely lad.
He's amazing.
No, we can't blame him. It was purely my doing,
It was. But you've travelled extensively.
especially through India and China. India and China.
Wow.
I tend to stick to the third world countries, the developing countries.
Yeah.
But you were telling
Done
us,
some biggies though.
was it Rajasthan?
Yeah, Rajasthan.
Sleeping under the stars for months on end, is that right?
That's right.
With camels.
It's my favourite memory of my whole life. Yes, every night just pulling the bike up and just wandering off into the sand dune and throwing out a sheet and sleeping under the stars every night. It was absolutely very romantic. Watching the stars move about every night.
So you are recommending us to go to India, would you?
Yes.
Yes.
Do
I know
it.
Rod was ambivalent about it, but I do want to do it because I've never been. And when I did a round the world trip the second time, I was pregnant, so I didn't want to go to India because I was fearful of being ill while I was pregnant.
Fair enough.
Well, yeah, there's still time. There's still time. India's got the colour and the culture and the food
And the smells.
and the smells.
The smells.
But I'm not. Large crowds, I struggle with a little bit. For
All
people.
the best stuff is outside of the cities.
Yeah. And
See-
you were saying all these camel drivers were an amazing spectacle in Rajasthan? is it?
Rajasthan, Jaisalmer is the town. It's the far western town. It's an old fort town deep in the desert. And highly recommend going on a camel safari through the desert. It's wonderful.
My goodness.
We haven't done deserts yet.
No, we haven't done deserts.
Okay, here we go.
Well, having seen some of the lovely hunter spiders that visited our very lovely cottage that happens to have a couple of holes it can get under the door. So when we came back last night, there were 2 massive spiders. The idea of sleeping in a tent in the desert with possible creatures of all description.
Gee, you'd be lucky if you got a tent. India is uncomfortable.
It's uncomfortable.
It's very
Adam,
uncomfortable.
you've been there. How long ago is it since you've been there?
9 years.
Oh, not
Yeah.
too long ago then.
Yeah, it's the kind of place that you are in the moment and you experience it, and you're probably in shock.
We're going to use that.
And then when you go home, then you'll process it.
Yeah. It is
But you're not sure if you love it at the
Until
time.
Until you've left.
Until you've
This
left.
trip is about new experiences, isn't it? That's what we've been saying to ourselves.
I have never foraged for food. So Tassie is a new experience. Not that I've been foraging for the food, let it be clear. But Tash obviously knows a lot about it. You guys know a lot about it with your chefing backgrounds.
But
And
that's
Nikki.
the beauty of Tassie is that you know it's clean.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're in other places, you don't know if there's pollution in the water, or whereas like mussels can collect heavy metals and bacteria and stuff, so you could get sick. You don't want to harvest mussels in India.
That's true. Mind you, the dog got sick after he ate a mussel on the beach today.
He might have swallowed
Oh
a bit
no,
of
it was an oyster.
On speech time. 3, 2, 1, countdown, please.
This is our last supper in Tassie. So Rod is going to do the ceremony. Oh, it's going to bloody take ages.
He did try the other night, but
Yeah, I know. I need more seafood.
try to pop
Come
his
on,
cork down,
Rod.
right?
So Rod is about to pop his cork.
In polite company.
He's been trying for 25 years.
Yeah, I'm working up to it. I've had to travel the world and have plenty of seafood to get there.
He's even got a back injury.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, this has been a long time coming, really, to come over and visit Vicky. It's been 25 years.
Wow.
And it's special and very dear to my heart to come and do this.
25 years. Please don't make it that long again. The last time you saw me, I had a 2-week-old baby, and it's been a bloody long wait.
Yeah.
So I better get the champagne.
You deserve it, even though you're driving home. We'll give you a little nip.
Thank you so much for coming all the way here.
You have been
So
phenomenal.
blessed.
We've had such a brilliant time with you guys. Yeah, we really have. And I'm drunk now, so I'm saying lots of reallys.
We've had a really good time with you.
Oh, cheers. Thank you so much. Amazing food.
Yeah.
Amazing fun.
Amazing people. Amazing place.
Friends.
Friendship.
And if you're ever in England, you're not allowed to come, okay?
To be fair, our house is good for a party. It can take the numbers.
1st of June, if anyone's in the UK, it's my 60th birthday in a week. And I'm having a party on the 1st of June.
Toasting.
Oh, yeah.
Happy birthday!
Yeah.
Goodness, let's acknowledge
And
the
I'm about to say it, yeah.
real landowners here, the Newman people who were here, and who probably would have done this, exactly this, right on this land. They would have had an abundance of like food and shelter, friendships and family and fun. So it's acknowledgement to them.
And thank you to all the little animals out there for making space for us.
And not suiciding in front of our van.
Yeah, there's been no roadkills so far.
Yeah, and those spiders for keeping out the way.
I just want to say one last thing. There are long ships, there are tall ships, but nothing like friendships.
Well said.
So it's been a pleasure to meet Anne-Marie and Rod, and thank you, Vicky, for bringing these beautiful people to Australia and coming to Australia, and all the friends here. And this last few days has been something I'll remember for a long time. So here's to all the friends that we have here. Here.
Oh, thank you so
well
much.
said. Well said.
Cheers.
And new friends.
New friends.
Newfound friends.
And genuinely, we are on Phillip Island for a month, so if anybody wants to visit us, you are more than welcome.
Yeah.
We're sitting on a rug in the garden of Vicky's house, and it's like a Mad Hatter's tea party. We are the Mad Hatters, and Rod and Vicky have been conspiring, oh my goodness me, for my birthday. And actually what is ahead of me is the most amazing array of incredible cakes. Just my type of cakes. I've never seen anything like it. Goodness, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
We're going to try and light a candle for each one.
For each of your decades being lit.
That's right.
Each of my previous decades.
Wow.
And I am now going to fess up that I always hide my birthday and I don't like my birthday. But given this week, and we've heard of the deaths of 2 people, one who was close to me many years ago, and that was a real surprise. And also the Tassie friends that we were all together, they had just lost someone, and they were all in their 50s, and we know 2 other people who've lost partners in their 50s. So I'm going to fess up and go, right, to be 60 is a privilege. And having had my own cancer scare 3 years ago, which again I have told very few people about, I feel privileged to live this long. And hopefully I have at least, fingers crossed, at least another 30 years. I am really being ambitious here. And given I lost my dad only a few months ago, and he would have been 90 next month. So I do feel if he can live that long and, you know, not have as many as amazing travel experiences as I'm having, it would have been great if he got to 90, but he didn't. And I keep thinking about him and thinking, I'm so sad that he hasn't had some of the experiences that I've had over the last few months. But anyway, here's to my father as well, because he was 30 years older than me, who I loved dearly. And now I'm
Got one candle. We got one candle left.
I'll light the other ones. The wind's dropped.
Yeah.
Because we're right next to the pool, aren't we?
We are, and I've just lain by the pool, the best bit of sunshine we've had all week, surprising, on Australia Day.
It's Australia Day.
Which is a national holiday, so you're off work. Having just started for a day, Vicky, you've done very well to get a holiday the next day. And the weather in Tassie wasn't that sunny, nor has it been in Melbourne until today, since we got back. So we have a lot to be thankful for and a lot to celebrate. Am I supposed to blow these out?
Yeah, you need to blow them out.
We have to sing happy birthday.
Sometime before the wind blows them out.
Okay.
2, 3.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Anne-Marie.
60 today.
Birthday to you.
Hip hip hooray!
Yay.
Oh, thank you so much. Okay, I'm going to blow them out.
Make a wish.
I think you know what my wish is. Do you? I've already said it.
To live to 90.
Yes.
Live to 90 and travel some more.
In good health.
hearty,
Yes, of course.
spirits.
In good health. That's my wish. It may not happen. Fingers crossed. And that Rod, you're going to be by my side, and thank you so much for being such a sweetheart. And Vicky, you are the ultimate sweetheart as well. The other side of the globe.
I'm Peter, and this is Jane. We're in Silver Leaves in sunny Victoria in Australia. Rod and Anne-Marie have just arrived, and they're going to stay in our place for the next 4 weeks.
I know, how did we swing that one, Peter?
Well, we stayed at yours for 4 weeks.
I know.
So that worked well.
Reciprocal.
It's called House Swap Heaven.
House swap, yes.
And your house
And you're
is
right on the beach.
Look at that.
glorious. We are looking out, we're on Phillip Island, in your palatial, very Jean clean house. I'm going to have everything perfect when Jean comes back. Not that you're frightening, Jean. You're not a bit frightening, but your house is very clean. What did you think of our house when you went to our house? Was it a mess?
No, I thought it was lovely.
Yeah, it wasn't as clean as your house, though. But you're retired, so I don't have time to have all the knives and forks in the right direction.
No, I do that. I've got to have knife, fork, spoon in the right
Have
in
you
the right
looked at
order.
the way Jean does hers, though? I mean, there's a special art form to this.
Okay, I'll
Anyway.
take some notes while I'm here.
And what are you guys going to be doing during the month?
We're going off on a caravan trip to look for houses in Queensland.
Fantastic.
We're going to look around, see what sort of areas we want to live in and what we can get for our money.
So there aren't many people who live around here then?
No, the island population is about 11,000, and in summer it's 250,000.
My goodness. So we're
Summer ends
literally-
tomorrow.
Exactly. I was just going to say we're literally on the last weekend of the summer holidays. So is the place going to be empty while we're here?
Yeah, well, when
No, that's
nice
okay.
and
We can
quiet.
get in all the restaurants.
Yeah, we wouldn't have all the restaurants and cafes that we have if
Yeah.
it wasn't for the tourists. We can actually walk to the town along the beach, but not at high tide.
And is it one of these low tide beaches where it goes right the way out?
Yes,
Got big sand all the way. Yeah.
It is a very flat beach, and it's great for the kids, the little ones.
Well, we'll do a bit of swimming out there. Wait for the tide to come in a bit. Get a bit of depth.
So you've got a long drive ahead of you tonight now. You've already picked us up from Melbourne. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
We didn't expect you to be so generous.
It's been lovely. It's been lovely to chat to you as well on the journey as well. That's
Yeah,
been
get
great.
to know you
Yeah.
better. We had met you
Yeah.
once before. So for anybody who's interested in house swapping, it's the best thing we've ever done. I mean, this house is phenomenal. It's beautiful. Our house is a nice house too, in fairness, but it's very, very different. And you get to live in someone's area, how they live, which feels like a very different travel experience.
We had the absolute opposite to this. At one of the house swaps in England, it was a house that was built in 1530.
Wow.
And,
Yeah,
and we live in a very modern house here, so a different experience.
So you've lived in Aussie for how long now?
Came in 87, so that's 37 years.
4 kids and 9 grandchildren later.
Yep.
You've done well. You've been busy, the pair of you.
Well, we're busy. Yeah, we've been very busy.
So Australia obviously suited you.
It did. It did. Oh, Jane came down the steps of the plane and blended into the tarmac. She was never going back. Never going back.
I believe, Jean, you were saying in the car that you had a vote after you were here for how long with the kids and your hubby and everybody?
Was it a year?
About a year after.
And then everybody wanted to stay.
Best decision ever.
Yep.
So what was it for you that you like about Aussie particularly?
The lifestyle.
It's an outdoor lifestyle. In England, Jay would hibernate for 4 months in the middle of winter.
I don't blame you. This is why we're doing it now, isn't it?
Exactly. We wanted to try and find a little corridor around the world that's around sort of 25 degrees.
It's about that temperature.
Yeah.
If you were in Queensland now, it would be very humid and
It's
hot.
37 degrees in Brisbane.
So have you got your light clothes all packed?
Yeah, we got them all in the caravan already.
Yeah. Well, we have to let you go because
Yes,
you
you've
have
got to
5 hours ahead of you. Thank you so much. Well, we're still in Australia, where we house swap on Phillip Island, famous for its penguins.
It's when people have their cameras out and the flashes go off and lots of flashes in their eyes is going to affect them.
We take a road trip along the Great Ocean Road. Just concentrating on the road for a moment. It's quite windy.
And I'm feeling a bit... and meet a long-lost Irish friend in Sydney. Well, you haven't changed. You haven't grown an inch. This podcast has been created and edited by Anne-Marie McCormack with her collaborator and co-traveller Rod Gray. Music is by Serge Quadrado and Segvari, with the sound mix by Gary McIntyre. If you'd like to see pictures and videos of the places we've been to and the people we've met, please go to the Parents Gap Year Instagram page. And if you've enjoyed the podcast, please follow and share it. Thanks so much for listening.